needs action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise awakening, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice, where dreams awaken in blood. Rise awakening, now is the dawn.
Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
Cards laid bare, shadows collide. Hidden truths in the tide. A spark in the dark, it glows. Illuminate, illuminate. Through the fog, the stars awake. Illuminate, illuminate. The path you seek, the steps you take. Thunder rolls, whispers rise. The deck unfolds, no disguise. Light cracks the veil, it shows. What's unseen now inside? What's unknown now ignite. Illuminate, illuminate. Through the fog, the stars awake. Illuminate, illuminate. The path you seek, the steps you take. Awakening calling, through silence falling. Wisdom crawls through the night.
Good morning, everybody. That was the coolest new video Micah did for me. It's awesome. Happy Friday. I'm glad y'all are here for Illuminate with Lunaria. For those of you who have not been here before, we go through a full Celtic cross reading for the week. And then we pull one card that we go through for our homework for the week, things that we need to work on. And we go through that in depth, getting to learn the cards more in depth. Welcome everybody that's here. I'm so glad you guys are here. Yeah, that was a very cool opening. Yes, Micah redid it and it's very cool. All right, so after we finish the reading, we will do shadow work for everybody in the room that's live that would like me to pull a card for you. We will get that done. So don't forget, when it comes to collective readings, yes, homework. When it comes to collective readings, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, it's not necessarily for you. If it doesn't make sense to you, then it's not for you. Leave it for whoever it's for and just take what works for you. All right, so let's get started. This is not a, I need to unmute the radio station. Dang it. One of these days I will get everything done and on time and start correctly. But until then, we'll just keep fumbling. All right, so let's start off. This is not an easy reading today. Sorry, guys. We're not even starting off great. We are starting off with the Eight of Cups. We're starting off with walking away. Not consider it right. We're gonna already start with the English are hard and inability to speak this morning. All right. We are starting off walking away, not considering it, not fantasizing about actually doing it or being called to. The imagery here is important. Someone leaving behind neatly stacked cups under the moonlight. These aren't chaotic, broken cups. They represent something that once worked. The meaning is emotional detachment, choosing growth over comfort, and leaving something good enough for something true. The shadow or trauma layer can indicate a pattern of staying too long out of obligation or leaving only after an emotional outburst. There may also be avoidance tendencies, walking away instead of confronting emotional truths. It's here in the main position because it is the core of the reading. Everything else revolves around this emotional departure. Don't romanticize what you're leaving. You're not walking away because it's terrible. You're walking away because it's no longer aligned. All right, next up in the challenge position, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Here's the twist. The challenge is not chaos, it's stability. This card represents long-term security, family, legacy, commitment, the dream life on paper. Why is it in the challenge position? Because something can look perfect externally, but feel emotionally unfulfilling internally. The shadow aspects are staying for appearances, fear of losing stability, and attachment to what should make me happy. The trauma tie-in can reflect conditioning around success equaling safety, relationships equaling obligation, and don't mess up a good thing. Your advice here, ask yourself honestly, is this true fulfillment or is this just security? All right, next up, we have in the root, the Seven of Cups. Your subconscious is overwhelmed with possibilities, illusions, and emotional confusion. This is the card of fantasy versus reality, multiple choices, and projection and wishful thinking. The deeper meaning, you may have been idealizing someone or something or avoiding clarity because clarity forces action. The shadow of this is escapism, emotional indecision, or seeing potential instead of reality. It's here in this position because the confusion is part of why the Eight of Cups is necessary. Not every option is real. Not every feeling is truth. Ground yourself. All right. Next up, in the past foundation, we have the Five of Cups. This is grief, loss, regret, emotional disappointment. The imagery shows someone focused on spilled cups while ignoring what remains, meaning past heartbreaks, emotional wounds not fully processed yet, and regret influencing present decisions. The trauma layer, this is where attachment wounds live, abandonment, disappointment cycles, and emotional scarcity mindset. Why is it here in this position? Because you are still carrying emotional residue from this. It's shaping your current perception. You cannot make future decisions from past pain without distorting the outcome. All right. In the position of your conscious goal, we have the Two of Swords. You know you need to make a decision, but you're resisting it. Papa walks into the room and immediately gets called out. Wait till we get to the homework card. This card shows avoidance, emotional blocking, and choosing not to see. The deeper meaning may be you may be trying to keep the peace, avoid hurting yourself or someone else, or delay the inevitable. The shadow is indecision, is a decision. Why is it here? You're aware something isn't right, but you haven't fully faced it yet. Take off the blindfold. Clarity will not destroy you, but avoidance will exhaust you. All right, in the near future, our good old friend, the Six of Cups. Here comes the past again. This card brings nostalgia, past connections, inner child energy, or someone from the past resurfacing. The important nuance, this is not always reconciliation. It's often reflection. the trauma attachment layer is comfort and familiarity, romanticizing past connections and repeating cycles because they feel safe. Why is it here? Because as you try to move forward in the Eight of Cups, something from the past may pull at your emotions. Your advice here, just because it feels familiar doesn't mean it's healthy. All right. All right, in the position of you right now, you are the Nine of Pentacles. This is your power card. You are independent, self-sufficient, and capable of standing on your own. You already have the ability to choose yourself. But the shadow is hyper-independence, fear of relying on others, and I'll just do it alone. Why is it here? You don't actually need what you're holding on to. Choose from empowerment, not fear or loneliness. All right. Next up, in the external influences, we have Mr. King of Pentacles. This could be a person, a grounded, stable provider, or the energy of stability itself influencing you. The meaning is reliability, long-term thinking, and material security. The shadow is emotional unavailability masked as stability, prioritizing control over connection. It's here because this energy may represent what's hard to walk away from. Stability is value, but it's not a substitute for emotional fulfillment. All right. In the position of your hopes and fears, we have the Two of Cups. You want a real connection, period. This card represents mutual love, emotional reciprocity, and soul level connection. The duality is that you hope for this, but you also may fear it, or that it won't happen at all, or that what you have isn't it. It's here because this is your heart this is what your heart actually wants, beyond stability and beyond illusion. Don't settle for almost when your soul is asking for aligned. All right. In the position of the outcome, we have the Four of Cups. This is the emotional mic drop. The Four of Cups is dissatisfaction, emotional disengagement, and ignoring an offer. A person sits under a tree, ignoring a cup being offered to them. If nothing changes, this leads to emotional numbness, missed opportunities, or rejecting something better because you're stuck in your head. The shadow is apathy, emotional burnout, and an inability to recognize genuine opportunities. Your advice here, wake up emotionally. Don't let discontent make you blind to what's actually being offered. All right, so 6 out of 10 cups in this reading. When the cups dominate like this, it signals emotional overwhelm, intuition nudges being ignored, deep inner processing, and relationship themes taking the center stage. But here's the nuance. Not all the cups are positive. You have 8 of Cups, which is walking away, 5 of Cups, which is grief, 7 of Cups, which is illusions, and the 4 of Cups, which is apathy. That's a heavy emotional cycle. Then you have 6 of Cups in the past, and the 2 of Cups as a true connection. So what's happening? Can I hammer that into one of my employees' heads? You may most certainly have. I will lend you the cards and you can beat them. So what's happening? You're being asked to evolve emotionally, to stop living in the past, the illusions, the regret, or the avoidance, and instead move toward clarity, alignment, and a real emotional reciprocity. This is not subtle energy. This is emotional saturation. This is a reading about emotional cycles, attachment patterns, nostalgia versus reality, and a very real need to emotionally evolve instead of looping. There's also strong contrast between emotional fulfillment in the cups and the material stability in the pentacles showing up as a secondary theme. The translation, you can have stability, security, and even the ideal life. But if the emotional piece isn't aligned, it will still feel empty. This is not a light reading. This is a you can't unknow what you already know type of spread. You're standing between emotional comfort that no longer fulfills you and emotional truth that requires courage. The pentacles say you're safe. The cups say, but are you happy? And the 8 of Cups at the center says, you already know the answer. That was a little rough. Just a little. All right. A lot of stuff that a lot of us needed to hear, unfortunately. All right. So On to the homework card for the week. All right, so we have for our work this week the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands. This is the card everyone thinks they understand at first glance. Victory, success, recognition. This is true. But also ego, validation wounds, imposter syndrome, and the dangerously addictive high of external approval. This card goes way deeper than a parade and a pat on the back. Let's tear it all the way open. I'm not going to hold it through this whole thing. All right, so in the traditional decks, we see a rider on a horse, already a symbol of movement, power, and status. A wreath on their head, which symbolizes victory, achievement, and being chosen. A wand, also crowned with a wreath, which is success being visible and not private. And a crowd surrounding them, watching and celebrating. This is not quiet success. This is public recognition. The key detail, the figure is elevated above the crowd. That elevation matters. It introduces the themes of being seen, being judged, being separated from others, and being put on a pedestal or putting yourself on one. In the upright, the surface level of this card is victory, achievement, recognition, success after effort, and public acknowledgement. Why can I not speak today? Yes, this is the moment where your work pays off, people notice you, and you are validated externally. But that's just the entry point. The deeper psychology of the Six of Wands is about external validation, not just I succeeded, but I succeeded and people see it. This ties deeply into self-worth, identity, visibility wounds, and needing approval to feel secure. In a healthy expression, this is confidence rooted in real effort, allowing yourself to be seen and celebrating wins without minimizing them. In unhealthy expressions, it's needing applause to feel worthy, performing instead of living authentically, and measuring self-worth through the reactions of others. The trauma and shadow layers for this card often show up for people who have felt overlooked or invisible, had to earn love or recognition, or been praised only for their achievements and not for who they are. So success becomes a survival mechanism. You may unconsciously think, if I achieve enough, I'll finally be enough. If people praise me, then I'm safe. But here's the problem. External validation is unstable, which means the shadow side of this card includes anxiety after success. Can I maintain this? Fear of failure or public embarrassment, and imposter syndrome. The ego versus the authentic confidence says it's the Six of Wands walks a very fine line. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. I'm having a hard time letting my past go. I was telling Kitten this yesterday. Yeah, so am I. So we're in that one together. All right, confidence says, I did it well and I'm proud of myself. But ego says, I need you to tell me I did it well or it doesn't count. This card asks, who are you without the applause? In love and relationships in the upright, this is being proud of your partner. A relationship being becoming public or official, or feeling chosen and celebrated. But deeper, are you being loved or just admired? Are you choosing someone because they validate you? This can also indicate relationships that look great from the outside, but may rely heavily on appearances. In career and life path, this is promotions, recognition, leadership, being in the spotlight, an influencer, and visible energy. Take the win, own it, but don't build your identity on it. When this card is in the reverse, this is where we get into the real work. The surface level of the reversal, on the surface level of a reversal is the lack of recognition, delayed success, feeling overlooked, public failure, or embarrassment. But again, that's just the surface. The internal experience when reversed is where validation wounds get loud. You may feel unseen, underappreciated, and like your efforts don't matter. Or the opposite, you are being recognized, but you can't internalize it. That's imposter syndrome. The shadow expression is validation starvation. Not why is no one noticing me? Overworking to prove your worth, or resentment towards others' success. Imposter syndrome is downplaying achievements, fear of being found out, or disconnect between reality and self-perception. Then there's ego inflation, overcompensation, bragging, seeking attention aggressively, and needing constant reassurance. Next, fear of visibility. Holding yourself back, avoiding opportunities that would put you in the spotlight, or self-sabotage right before success. The trauma lens in the reverse often ties to being ignored or overshadowed in childhood, inconstant praise, or conditional love based on performance. So now, either you chase validation endlessly or you reject it because it feels unsafe. In love, when it's reversed, you're feeling unappreciated in a relationship. It's a one-sided admiration or seeking validation outside of the relationship. It can also be being with someone who needs constant praise or cannot acknowledge your worth. The deeper question here is, are you being valued, or are you trying to prove your value? In career reverse, this is not being recognized for your work. Workplace favoritism or feeling stuck despite the effort. Or internally not owning your success, playing small. The real difference between the upright and the reverse is this: upright equals success and reversed equals failure. It's not just upright equals success and reversed equals failure. It's upright equals external validation that is present, and reversed, it is your relationship to validation is distorted. Both positions ask the same core question: where does your sense of worth actually come from? On a spiritual soul level, the Six of Wands is a checkpoint. It asks, can you be seen without losing yourself? Can you succeed without attaching your identity to it? And can you validate yourself even when no one else does? Because here's the truth: applause fades, attention shifts, and crowds move on. And when they do you still believe in yourself? And that's the important part. Celebrate your wins, but don't become dependent on them. Let yourself be seen, but stay grounded in who you are. Notice where you seek approval and gently reclaim that power. And most importantly, you are not more worthy when you are recognized, and you are not less worthy when you are not. The Six of Wands is not just about victory. It's about who you become because of it and who you are without it. And that was our reading for today. Oh dear, did we get you, D? Did the cards know I was going to be here today or what? Yeah, maybe. Let's see. I'm going to look through the chat real quick before we move into it. AKA says, I downplay achievements a lot, and I think it's where I fear change and have trouble accepting change because all I know is self-sabotage. I agree. I understand that there's a lot of us are taught so early on to be humble, that if you celebrate your successes or something, that you're not being humble or that you're bragging or you're being conceited. But there's a big difference between conceit and arrogance and just confidence. And it's hard, but you have to allow yourself to appreciate your successes, and you have to allow others to compliment you on them without turning it into no. Stop doing that to yourself. It is okay to accept the praise that you receive when you do something good. Thank them genuinely, but don't criticize yourself, and don't turn it around and turn it into something that is not true. You have to be able to accept your successes along with your failures, because we have them both. We know that. We all seem to accept our failures so easily. I fucked up again. We're like, all right, so yeah, we'll move on. We'll fix it. But when we succeed, we hide from it. Why do we do that? The problem is, don't get into that loop of, now I need it. I got the praise. Now I need it. Now, if I don't get it, what am I going to do? It's a hard line. It kind of is. And if you have trauma bonds, or trauma wounds from your past, and you haven't felt, yes, it is human nature, and you haven't felt recognized in the past, and you're constantly seeking that validation. When you get it, you're on a high, but then if you don't get it, you haven't changed. You're the same person today when you didn't get the recognition as you were yesterday when you did get the recognition. But now all of a sudden you're all down on yourself. Why? You're still the same person you were. It's easier to name failures than it is to name positivity around us, and it's hard value system to break. Yes, 100%. This group in this room right now and the most of the typical listeners are struggling. That's why we're here. But that's why we're here to help each other, because we can rewire our brain, as Cindy said, and learn to accept the positivity. We need to accept the positivity if we want to feel positive ourselves. If you're sitting around thinking about all your failures constantly, then what are you going to continue to do? You're going to be in a negative mindset and you're going to continue to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes regardless, but you're going to keep screwing up more if you're constantly in a state of I can't do anything right. We all have our blessings and our gifts. And sometimes we might need to find them. But find something that makes you feel good. Do it for you. You don't have to have everyone else's praise. It's what you need. It's what makes you happy that matters. I mean, I'm not saying go out there and screw everyone else's life around, but I'm saying if you're not happy in your job, in your relationship, in your family dynamics, in whatever situation it is that you're in, if you're not happy, then you need to make changes, because you can't make other people happy when you're unhappy, and you're going to, it's we feed off of each other. If you're hanging around people who are miserable, you become miserable. If you're miserable and you're around people, you make them miserable. We got to stop focusing on finding what makes us happy within ourselves and stop looking for it in other people, because they're not going to give it to us. We have to give it to ourselves. Good morning, Nikki. Totally there, and it gets tiring and frustrating. You know how you need to break the cycle, but it's exhausting. It's time to stop making self-excuses. There's more than one way to commit suicide. What? I'm guessing that what you're saying by that is you can, not necessarily. I know I can't say that. Probably we're not supposed to say that on YouTube, but if you're saying you can back out of your life and just become a blob and basically, do nothing with your life, you can do that, and you can, for all intents and purposes, basically end your life. But if you need to talk after, yeah, okay. I'm glad that you pointed that, because the wording scared me a little bit. So yeah, we're not. It's okay, and I understand. Yeah, no, I mean we don't. None of us. There's absolutely nothing that should cause us to want to take our lives. And life is hard, and it has its moments, and it has its periods of time where we do feel that way. And I'm not going to lie, I've felt that way on many occasions myself. But that's not the answer. I think I saw recently some that's a permanent situation, or that's a permanent fix to a temporary situation. And that's definitely not what we're working towards. No, don't feel bad, honey. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. No, I'm glad you said it, because there are people that think it, and then we're here to talk about that stuff. That's one of our topics of conversation that we've had on many occasions on these shows. That's why we're here, to reach out if people are feeling that way, and they're at that point where they're feeling like they are just ready to end everything. We want them to be here so that we can try to help. And so, no, don't feel bad for saying it. It's okay. It's definitely a conversation that we've had here on many occasions, and I'm sure we'll have again. Nikki says if one of us does something like that, she'll resurrect us and do it to you again, do it to us again for us. Nobody's here. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about walking away from our life and just feeling like we just give up and just becoming a bump on the couch and couch potato and giving up. But there, what kind of life is that? It's not going to last for long. That's a past long gone for me. Yeah. All right, guys. So let's talk about our shadow work for the week. I don't know who in the room wants one. I will get one for Micah while I'm waiting to see who else might want one, because he just gets one because he gets one, period. I gotta get off here and get it. Oh, okay, D. I'm glad you got to come by, though. I haven't seen you in so long. It was so good. Well, sort of see you. See your name anyway. Let me know before you leave if you want a shadow work. All right. Micah. I know you must be listening. All right, okay, gotcha. All right, Micah. Activities and strategies that make you feel grounded are self-care. Self-care can be hard to practice because of the hidden beliefs you have about yourself. What are some ways you practice self-care on a regular basis? What barriers, internal or external, make it difficult for you to perform these strategies? Okay. All right. AKA Studios would like one, my dear. That's actually one I already pulled for you. And you would think that in this stack. All right. Many people struggle with finding a work-life balance. While limited time is a major challenge, there are also competing shadow motivations that make finding balance difficult for most. What are your biggest challenges in finding work-life balance? What are the possible internal and value-driven conflicts you've yet to reconcile? Anybody else want one? I will pull mine for the day and call myself out like I do. Wait, see if anybody else wants. All right, so mine for the week. Guilt and shame can be powerful forces in your life if left unmonitored within the shadow. Facts. What experiences in your history are you carrying around with guilt and or shame? How does this impact you? How could you try to respond to these parts with more compassion moving forward? Cindy. All right, Cindy, the explorer is an archetype of someone with never-ending wanderlust and desire for novelty. Have you ever lived your life as this type? What were the benefits and challenges? If you haven't seen yourself as an explorer, in what ways might your shadow desire some of the traits of this archetype? Michael, would you like a card? Shadow card? I'm working. AKA says I'm working to become a published novel writer. I'm trying to expand creative writing explorations online. That's great. Absolutely. That's fantastic. All right, Michael. Even positive experiences like simple awe and wonder can be repressed into the shadow. Unfortunately, this can limit the access to your higher, more spiritual self. What's been a moment of awe and wonder in your life? How could you create more presence for these kinds of moments moving forward? All right. If no one else would like a shadow card, I will. Of all things, if y'all were here yesterday for the core, do you remember at the last minute of the show when that card popped out? And I was like, okay, he said this, and look what showed up. Well, as I was shuffling today, the same card came out for today. So apparently, clarity is the topic of the day. May you know clarity of vision and purpose. When the world becomes obscured and untrustworthy, may you know your own soul, your own truth, and your own heart. May this clarity be your compass as you take the steps of your journey. Trust this clear vision and make firm choices that are in the interest of your greatest good. Shock and awe has been. All right, so I'm going to see if I can find Micah's things here. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Oh, wait, maybe it's there. There it is. No, that's not it either. I was trying to find the pictures and stuff. Anyway, I can't find them, so I'm just gonna put up. Oh, here we go. Embers of Light is already up there. Never mind. All right, forget it. It's already there. Embers of Light. It's right there in the corner. Right there. You'll find everybody's everything, from the station, from the radio station to the shows to everything else. Michael is working on an amazing website for us, and I cannot wait till it's done so y'all can see it. You can watch the shows from the website. You can do everything from the website. It's going to be very cool. All right, so tonight on Voices on the Rise, 6 p.m. with Hathery, it is Robin Bell, and he is so good. Y'all are going to absolutely love it, so be there tonight for that. I hope y'all have an amazing weekend. We'll be back Monday at 11 a.m. for the Bloom, Monday night at 6 p.m. for the Messengers. Tuesday, we will be here at 11 a.m. for Brindle's Vision. Is it 11 or is it noon? I don't know why it's noon for Brindle's Vision. Oh, Robin's doing acoustics. Cool. All right. So 11 or noon for Brindle's Vision. Then we'll be back on Wednesday night with Phoenix Talks with Brindle and Diane. The three of us will be back Thursday morning at 11 a.m. for the core, and I will be right back here Friday. And honey, you don't have anything to apologize for the misunderstanding. It's perfectly fine. I'm not upset. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about it because we do talk about that on this show. So it's okay. No need to apologize whatsoever. All right. I think that is all that I have for today. And oh, that is right. Rev D does have a guest on the Bloom on Monday. Am I allowed to say who that special guest is? I mean, I think it's been announced. I don't know. I know there's a delay, so I'm waiting for an answer. But yes, Rev D will have a yeah. Okay, so everybody knows anyway. Michael will be Rev D's guest host on Monday at 11 a.m. So be here for that. It's going to be great. All right, guys, I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I will see you Monday night at 6 p.m. Enjoy. I love you. Love yourselves. Be good. And all that jazz. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Let me get me out of here.
What's unseen now inside? What's unknown now ignite? Illuminate, illuminate through the fog, the stars away. Illuminate, illuminate the path you seek, the steps you take. Awakening, calling through silence, falling. Wisdom crawls through the night.
Hey, this is Brindle Wolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise, awakening. hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice, where dreams awaken. It's life, rise awakening. Now is the time.
Rise Awakenings. Let's rise together.